Gentlemen, welcome. We're going to start again. This Champions League draw is brought to you by Xiaomi, the Dreamer. Fantastic vacuum cleaner. Get yours from eBay today. It's a fantastic recommendation from Nathan Dundovich. It's a V9 or V8 or something. Works a treat. Okay, gentlemen, welcome to this season's UCL Group Stage Champions League draw. For the first time, I'm broadcasting from Lane Cove at the new Co-Shab residence over here. All are welcome. Obviously, I've just vacuumed the place. Yesterday, I actually vacuumed it with this brand new Xiaomi a vacuum cleaner, the Dreamer it's called, or the Dream with an E at the end, which is a little bit weird. Great vacuum cleaner, huge sponsor of the Champions League this year. Great recommendation from Nathan Dundovich. So thank you once again for that one, Nathan. Worked a treat, really picked everything up around the house. Okay, so there's a fair bit to get through tonight. We're going to do a bit of a review of the season so far. We've got some interesting stats for you as well. We're going to talk about some of the players who are really performing well, some of the teams who are performing well. We're going to discuss whether that's sustainable. But obviously the main event tonight is the Champions League group stage draw. Now, the format of the draw is actually a little bit unique. You can actually find it in the rule book, and I'm going to explain it to you right now, first of all. So the winner of, so it's actually based on league standings from last year. The first place team and the second place team automatically get placed. Red Star will be the first team in Group A and Millionairos will be the first team in Group D. Then we've got pot number 1, which are the teams that finished 3rd and 4th last year. So Persepolis and Pugon have gone into pot number 1. They will come out of the pot there and fill the first spots in Group B and C. And then we've got pot number 3, which are the teams that finished 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. They will essentially, one of those teams, or each team will be placed in a group from groups A through to D. Then we've got pot number 3, and this is the trophy from the League Cup from last year, or the Mickey Mouse Cup, as many like to call it. This is pot number 3. Now, we have in this pot teams that finished, let's go, 9, 10, 11, and 12. These teams can't go in pots, or they can't go in groups A or D, so they'll get drawn alternatively into groups B and C. And finally, we have drawn alternatively into groups B. we have Treviso and CSCA, so the team that finished last, and the horror pennant winner, who will essentially fill the final spots in Groups A and D. Groups A and D with Red Star Millonarios will only have 3 teams, whereas Groups B and C will consist of 4 teams. So a bit of an advantage there for the teams that performed well last year in the league. Now, before we get started, I thought we might do a bit of a review. And given that it is a Champions League draw, well, we've got a special surprise for you. We've actually got a special guest in the house. So this is probably one of the best managers in the league, and we thought, we should really amp up the special guests on this show. Last season's Champions League winner as well, and previous league winner as well. Please welcome Daniel Shastowski, who will help me with the Champions League draw tonight. Daniel, say good day.
Hey lads, good to see you all, even though I can't see anybody.
So Daniel, I'm actually going to go and get something that's actually missing from the table at the moment. Do you want to just give the guys, a bit of a rundown of some of the draws, some of the things that you've picked up, concerning Red Star, concerning that Paul Pogba guy that's being flogged around a little bit at the moment, and I'll be just back.
All right, lads, I've had a bit of a look at things, and I'm going to be part of the review tonight. So I thought I'd share some interesting stats with you that I've noticed, and things that people have complained to me about that I've tried to debunk some myths. One of those things, I'll start with Red Star, last year's champions, have been complaining somewhat privately, but sometimes publicly, about the fact that they've copped a significant amount of points to start the season. What I did notice to try and debunk this myth was that actually they have copped 15 more points in total over the first 4 weeks as the blessed team Pugon, who are currently in second place. So it appears that Red Star, who are crying poor with regards to their draw to start the season, have actually had quite a similar draw to Pugon, who are currently second on the ladder and seem to be one of the favourites this year at the way they're going, although they've copped some injuries recently.
So there's some interesting, there's an actually interesting fact about Paul Pogba at the moment. So despite showing up to Pirates training with a full Real Madrid kit, Luke Montgomery is staying very calm about the situation. I've been told and guaranteed by Luke that he's not being offered around to every single team out there. I'm sure he's not. And look, Paul Pogba, whether he stays, till the end of the season, is he going to be sold in January or not? We don't really know. We're just a kind of forewarning to all the teams out there that Paul is actually wearing his Real Madrid kit that he was supplied. I don't actually know where he got it from, to Pirates training. So what are your thoughts on the Pogba situation, Daniel?
Well, I think it's a bit unfortunate that Monty's going to lose such a significant player for Pirates, but it seems that he's 110% gone at the end of the season. He's indicated to pretty much everybody that speaks to him that Real Madrid's on his list, that Treviso's not on his list, that really any UPL team's not on his list. It appears it's just Real Madrid. That's where he wants to go. And it doesn't seem like he wants to go anywhere else.
Now, staying with Pirates, interesting enough, so, we've all heard about Timo Pukki, who's been one of the best players in the Premier League so far, obviously covering the loss of Eden Hazard at Persepolis. But interesting enough, Timo Pukki obviously had a bit of a crash last week where he banged out a 6 against Dalmatia. So KDB has now actually overtaken Timo Pukki as the best player in the league. He's currently averaging 21.26 for Pirates. And just want to kind of break some news at the moment. There is actually an ongoing transfer negotiation happening between Red Star and Pirates. There's talks of Mo Salah being sold potentially for KDB. These are just rumours. We're not quite sure. Those rumours haven't been verified. But do you think that trade is a fair one, Daniel? What are your thoughts on a potential KDB for Mo Salah trade?
I think the big thing about that trade is that I don't think either player is likely to leave the league, although an unknown manager from the league, I think it was N. Dundovic, suggested that Mo Salah was guaranteed to leave at the end of the season, which means that Monty, if he gets him on board, will have 2 players that are going to leave at the end of the season, which should be good for him. It'll be a real party at the end of the season for Pirates.
Look, to try avoid another Pirates bashing session as we had obviously immediately after the draft this year, we're going to move on to some kind of key statistics at the moment. So Kuro Basan, who came to the season, with a kind of big plan. Obviously, they sold their season and they're sold to, Daniel Shastowski standing over here. They're actually they've got how many contributions? They've got 6 contributions over the first week, with CSCA having the lowest number of contributions with 5 so far. Just another interesting one as well, Dalmatia, who actually boast the strongest attack in the league, as we were all told, have 3 goals at the moment. So I'm sure they'll be catching up once Troy Deeney is back from his injury. We've got Ashley Barnes at the moment, low key. Milivojevic been struggling a little bit. Obviously, Gab Jesus is now injured. Dele Alli is practically dead, and so is Andros Townsend. So Ashley Barnes has actually stepped up to the plate for the Chin Rollers. He's currently averaging 16. What are your thoughts on the Vultures at the moment? They're obviously flying high. Are they a title contender for you this year, Daniel?
I think, well, I've been very vocal with this in terms of them having to learn the lessons last year that Adrian and Cam experienced, particularly Adrian. I can't stress enough how much Adrian has learnt this lesson, but he really should have done something to try and really benefit from the blessed start that he had at the start of last season. And I think Brett needs to look at those two sides, look at how they finished, particularly Adrian, who had such a big opportunity and failed to take it. He's got to look at that and see, well, there's things that he can do. There's moves that he can make. He's got players firing at the moment. He's got, McSauce, for example. He's averaging 13.69. That's surely not sustainable. He's got Aguero, who hasn't faced Jesus competition as yet, who's flying high. He's had Martial, although injured last week, is flying high. He's had the benefit of some guys doing really well. If he wants to continue doing that, he's got to try and benefit with some trades or some other moves and not do what Adrian did last year, and he failed miserably as a result.
Well, Paul Pogba could ultimately save the Vultures as well. That could be the real boost they're looking for. But I'm sure there are actual rumours that Monty will be demanding Greenwood, Martial and Aguero as part of the deal to get Pogba across to the Vultures. But again, unverified reports there. Let's have a look at some of the trades that happened in the off-season. So 3 major trades just quickly look at and have a look how they've been faring really over the past 4 weeks. So the first big trade was obviously Cam Gage, who sold his soul. So that was a round 1 pick. So essentially, we've got Pulisic for Goodmanson and Dendonka at the moment. And obviously the first pick for next year's draft for Millonarios as well. So Daniel, how have they been going so far?
Look, it's pretty much a nothing trade at the moment. Goodsy is averaging a 10.65. I think he did suffer a small injury in the last week. I think he'll be back after the international break. Dendonka has been fairly poor, averaging 6.44. And Pulisic has started very slowly. The last couple of weeks he's had double-figure scores, but he's averaging 9 for the season. So it's really been a fairly nothing trade at this point in time for both sides, really.
The next big trade was actually involved Persepolis and looked apart their only trade probably for the decade. So we've got essentially what the trade has turned out to be was Nicolas Pepe and Jay Rodriguez for Bernardo Silva. So interestingly enough, Nicolas Pepe is averaging 10.61 despite only starting 2 games. Jay Rodriguez is averaging a whopping 1.36, and Bernardo Silva is averaging 9.29. So it's clear that Persepolis are winning that trade so far, with obviously a lot more to come from Jay Rodriguez in the coming weeks. And finally, the last big trade, this one was KDB, which essentially now turned out for KDB for Ndidi and Hala or Halla. No one's actually told me how to pronounce his name. Daniel, how's that trade been going?
That's probably been the most successful both sides that we've seen out of the big trades. KDB obviously is the top at the moment in the competition. He's got 6 contributions in 4 weeks by himself, which is the same as Kuro for those listening at home. He's averaging 21.26, which is just absurd. I don't know whether that's going to be sustainable, but he could be doing that for Red Star for all we know in a week or so. The other 2 players in the trade for Benny at Ruthless have been Ndidi and Hala. Ndidi is averaging 13.7, which is significantly high for him. Once again, I'm not sure that that's sustainable. He's also 35 age, so I don't know how long he's got to last. And you've got Haller as well, who's averaging 18.3 as West Ham's main striker. So that's been a good pick so far for Benny, but we'll see if West Ham are able to maintain their forms.
It's going to go, but it's actually shaping up to be let me just 1 second. My connection Give me one sec. Okay, we're back online again. So it's shaping up to be a wonderful season in the UFL. But obviously tonight we're here now to talk about the Champions League, and of course it is the Champions League group stage draw. So my friend Mickey Mouse here is just going to depart the Mickey Mouse Cup just for the time being as we started. So Daniel, I'm going to get you to actually help me with this as well. As we get the cum rag out once again for this season's draw. So Red Star already in group. One second, I've got Scott Dingwall just calling in just quickly. Hey, mate. Yeah, I'll be back.
I was just going to say, can you see if there's an RT at the door?
There isn't. I walked past there about half an hour ago.
Okay, perfect. I'm not over. I just...
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. That was my new housemate, Scott Dingwall, or fond name from the Dingwalk, just calling ahead to see if there's an RBT outside.
It looks like you may need legal advice, so it's good that I'm here.
It's good that you're here, Daniel. He's got his business card ready to go. Fantastic drama here, live at the UCL draw. Okay, so we've got Red Star and we've got Millionaires in groups A and B. So let's see who goes into, A and D. Let's see which team goes into group B first. So Daniel, you want to just reach in there, draw out a team for me. This will be the first team in group B. So it'll either be Persepolis or Pugon,
Pugon.
So just to confirm that for everyone, Pugon have been drawn first, so they will go in the group B. So naturally, just to finish it off, that should be Persepolis in group C. So pick out that one for me, Daniel. We'll just confirm that one. Persepolis will go, and we'll just confirm that as well. We'll go into group C. Okay, now we're on to pot 2. So essentially how this is going to work, one team essentially will go into each group. We're pretty straightforward. So I'm going to give this one a good shake as well. Okay, Danny, you want to just reach in there for me and grab a team. So the team joining Red Star in group A will be
Ruthless.
Ruthless will go into Group A with Red Star. Another horror piece of luck there, just live for Red Star. They'll be copying a lot of points, I'm sure, from Ruthless. The team joining Pugon in Group B will be
Shin Rollers.
The Shin Rollers will be joining Pugon in Group B as the first team there. The first team to join Persepolis in Group C will be
Dalmatia.
And the Dalmatians will be going into Group C with Persepolis. This is already shaping up to be the group of death, and not because of the quality of the teams, because someone will actually kill the other person. And finally, Millionairos will be joined by
Post-Rattlers.
The Post-Rattlers. This couldn't be shaping up any better. So we have the Rattlers who will be joining Millionairos in Group D. Okay, now we're on to the Mickey Mouse Cup. So we've got 4 teams in this pot at the moment. Essentially, we're going to alternate, and 2 teams will be drawn into Group B, and 2 teams will be drawn into Group C. But we'll alternate, obviously, to go along. So I'm going to grab the Mickey Mouse Cup. I might actually get Mickey to help me in the shaking of this. Thank you for that, Mickey. Daniel, do you want to just reach in there and grab a team for me? So the third team joining Pugon and Shin Rollers in Group B will be
Look the Part FC.
Look the Part FC. Gentlemen, we'll be going into Group B with Pugon and the Shin Rollers. Okay, Group of Death is next. Persepolis and Dalmatia. Who will be joining them in Group C? Oh.
Pirates.
Pirates have joined Persepolis and Dalmatia.
That is the group of death.
That is literally the group of death. That's fantastic. Now we've got the 4th team joining Pugon, Shins, and Look the Part in Group B, and that team will be
Kuro
Basan have joined the group of Poo, essentially. So that'll be with Pugon, Shin Rollers, the relatively respectable Look the Part, and Kuro Basan to round off that group. So that means that Persepolis, Dalmatia, and Pirates will be joined
Vultures.
The current league leaders, Vultures. So that's groups B and C done. So now Treviso and last year's horrid pennant winner, CSCA, will be drawn out of this thing to essentially complete groups A and D. Reminder, groups A and D will only have 3 teams in them. We'll give this a little shake. Daniel, please do the honours. So joining Red Star and Ruthless in Group A will be
CSCA.
Just confirming that one for everyone. CSCA will be joining Red Star and Ruthless in Group A. Millionairos, Rattlers. Oh, this is also turning out to be an explosive group. That should be the battling
Treviso.
Just confirming that FC Treviso will be there, rounding off a Group D. Okay, so let's just go over the groups again for you guys one more time. Group A, we have Red Star, Ruthless, and CSCA. Obviously, there's a bye in that group as well. Group B is Pogon, Shin Rollers, Look the Part, and Kuro Basan. Group D is Persepolis, Dalmatia, Pirates, and the Vultures. And Group D, finally, we have Millionairos, last year's Champions League winners, the Rattlers, who have learned a lot of lessons, and Treviso, who have optimism about them again, rounding off that group, obviously the 4th team being the bye. So that concludes our group stage Champions League draw for 2019-2020. Thank you to everyone who joined us, and thank you to our special sponsors, Xiaomi with the Dreamer. Again, fantastic buy. Get onto that one. Special price, 50% discount code on eBay. Thank you once again, Nathan Dunovich. Daniel, any final comments from you before we let the boys go?
Just the thing is, I did see a contingent in the corner of the room, and they were laughing very similar to, I believe, Sparta Prague when they were drawn in the Champions League draw. They just were uncontrollably laughing in the corner. Explain that how you will as well.
Oh, this has just come in. Yep. Okay. So it's just been confirmed to me that Sky Sports will not be televising any of the games in Group B. So unfortunately, you won't be able to catch Pugon, Shin Rollers, Look the Part, or Kuro on television. You might have to actually go to the games. I don't actually know where they're being played, but confirmation that Sky Sports will not be televising any games in Group B. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. This has been wonderful. Hopefully, we'll see you again very soon. There's a podcast coming out this week as well, so look out for that. Cheers.